Urban Meyer? More like Urban Fired. Good for you, Jacksonville. You finally got rid of the demon. I don't know if you guys heard, but the Jags fired Urban Meyer last night. It was actually late, like 2 or 3 in the morning. Meaning they would just rather move on and deal with an interim for 4 weeks than tough it out with him. Honestly, if I was in the Jags organization, I'd be the same way. I would not want anything to do with him at all. There's like rumors of him beating players and stuff now too. Not only was he just mean, but he was like actually, apparently, a really bad dude. It's unfortunate because I was really excited about him. You guys know that. But it is a very good transition into the topic of today's video, and it's actually been requested that I did this, or redid this, I should say. So today we are going to finally be re-ranking every NFL head coach. I did this like 4 or 5 months back, and I haven't done it since or really talked about the coaches, so I do feel like it is a good time to do it. However, before we hop into this video, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. Alright, let's rank the head coaches, or re-rank I should say. So here we are back at the tier list. As you guys know, it is absolutely required that we run through the tiers. So we will start at the top. We have the elite coaches. Below the elite, we have the good coaches. Below the good coaches, we have the coaches that I'm indifferent about or that are, you know, in simple terms, fine. Below those coaches, we have the coaches that I wouldn't want personally. And finally at the bottom, it's time to go. It means you're fired, get the hell out of here, your ass. All right, so starting off the list, we have the Atlanta Falcons' Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is a first-year coach, and to my surprise and probably a lot of other people's, the Falcons aren't doing horrible this year. I'm going to be honest, I think Arthur Smith has a lot to do with that. I think for the most part, I don't want to judge him too quick, he's actually a pretty good coach. And he has the second most, or he's tied for most wins among rookie coaches with Nick Cerrany of the Eagles. I think Arthur Smith so far has been pretty good. All right, and moving on, we've got John Gruden, who has been fired. Stepping in his place is Rich Bisaccia, or however the hell you say his name. I'm going to say both of them, you know, whatever. Time to go, get out of here. Raiders haven't been doing very good ever since he took over. I know nothing about the guy. I have nothing good to say about him, unfortunately. Moving on, we've got Mike Vrabo. I think he's a good coach. Ever since he took over how many years ago, he's put them in a winning position. He's made them a winning team. His offense is falling apart right now, but it's not his fault that, you know, the best running back in the world is hurt and his receivers can't stay healthy. But I think as a defensive mind, not only does he have a set of balls, but he's aggressive in the right moments, and I would like to have him as a coach personally. Moving on, we got Vic Fangio. Dude, I wouldn't want Vic, okay? He's been in Denver, what, 2-3 years now, and he's never, ever actually had them on a good pace. Now, right now, they're not doing bad. For his standards, they're doing great, but I don't think he's going to do anything with the team. Moving on, we've got Cliff Kingsbury. You know, I'm all over the place with this guy. I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down. And you know, I'm gonna pinpoint him right in the middle. I'm indifferent. He's fine. I want to say he's good, but some games I think he's terrible. I was super excited when he became a head coach because I remember in college he did that John Cena thing where he came down from the stands and then fought the mascot and threw him through a table. It was really funny. He's got the personality to be a great head coach, but realistically, we've only seen him dominate for like half a season, and that was this year. Moving on, we've got Bruce Arians, another one right in the middle, man. I don't think he's a bad coach by any means, but I don't think he has anything to do with their recent success, and I don't think he has anything to do with their current success. Moving on, we got John Harbaugh. He's elite, man. I love that guy. He's one of those coaches, kind of like Bill, where you just don't need to have really anybody. You just need to have enough in order to be good. Seriously, I actually think he's underrated for how good he is. People don't talk about him and give him enough credit. Ravens are good because of him. I mean, Lamar has a lot to do with it, but he's the brains behind the operations. Moving on, we got Matt Nagy. Oh man, it's time to go. Now here's the thing about Matt Nagy, and you guys are gonna think I'm crazy. He's not a bad coach. He is a horrible play caller. I think that is the problem there. But he has put the Bears in such a shit position, and he has that entire city hating him so much that it's time to get the fuck out. Fun fact, he has a better win-loss percentage in his career as a head coach than Kyle Shanahan, though. Moving on, we got Robert Sala. Okay, I don't want to be too quick to judge here. I wouldn't want Robert Sala, okay? Personally, I wouldn't. I haven't seen anything out of the Jets defense that makes me think that he is a mastermind of the game. Moving on, we got Urban fired. Bye, bitch. He was awful. Although he did beat the Buffalo Bills, so I have to shut up. Moving on, we've got Brian Flores. Okay, I think he's a good coach still. You know, it was really hard to say anything good about him at the beginning of the season. I know I had his back, but I'm just saying from like a fan's reference, you probably thought he was terrible. He was like 1-7. Now you can see when it starts to get in a rhythm, the offense starts putting up consistent points. That defense doesn't get exhausted because they're on the field all the fucking time. That team can stabilize itself and actually be decent. Now I have beef with them. They're a division rival. I'm happy Buffalo's beaten them twice this year. I gotta rub it into you guys. You know I have to. But their coach, Brian Flores, I think is really good. Moving on, we've got Brandon Staley, Chargers coach. I still have his back. I still think he's doing a good job. He's got that team headed in a better direction than Anthony Lynn could have ever dreamed. Yes, he's a rookie head coach. He's made a couple mistakes. He's probably cost them a game or two this season for a certainty. But you could be like Mike Zimmer and cost your team 7 games. So, moving on, we've got Matt Rule. You know, this guy I'm indifferent about. I would shit on him, but he just cannot get a quarterback. It's really not fair. How are you supposed to win when any quarterback you throw out there is guaranteed to throw 2 interceptions a game? All right, and moving on, we've got Pete Carroll. Okay, I think they're actually starting to turn things around, but I had people saying that they wished he was fired or asking me if they should fire him. Why would you fire him? No, he's been there since 2010, and you guys would have not made the playoffs for the 3rd time this year. That is it, if you guys don't make it. He's brought you 5 division championships and a Super Bowl ring. You guys are always in it. One bad season and they just start pointing guns at the coach. It's ridiculous. Moving on, we've got Zach Taylor, a guy that clearly just had a bad team, man. He's actually doing a pretty good job as a coach. I'm not going to be certain that I would exactly want him quite yet, but given the tools and equipment, he can draw up plays, man. He can make shit happen. He's a crafty little bastard. Moving on, we got Sean McDermott, you know, a guy I used to think was elite. I still love him. I think he is a great coach, but he needs to be better at managing situations for what they are when the time is right. It was 4th and 3 and they were down by like 14 in the 3rd quarter and he punted it from like the 50 or something like that. If he would have went for it and they failed it, nobody's mad. Trust your guys to go for it, man. Jesus. Moving on, we got Bill Belichick. He's the greatest head coach ever. I stand firm there. You could give Bill Belichick a team of me versus a team of Aaron Donalds. Somehow, some way, it would be a football game. I guarantee it. I don't know how this man functions. Moving on, we got Mike Tomlin, another elite coach. I think one of the best coaches in the history of the league as well. This guy has never had a losing season, and it's weird. A 17-game season, coincidentally, he got a tie, and he can also finish 500. If I was a Steelers, man, I would not like the team I have right now, but I would love the coach because no matter what you have, much like the Patriots, you're gonna be alive with him. Moving on, we've got Sean Payton, that son of a bitch. I just hate him, man. He is a good coach. I know it. He is a very good coach. Probably one of the best offensive minds in the league. He is able to make things work with a lot of different weapons as well. I just hate the fact that every single time he uses Taysom Hill and it succeeds, he acts like he just pulled out his secret weapon. Which Taysom Hill is not your secret weapon. The guy's a joke. Moving on, Mike McCarthy, dude, I just don't like him either. I don't like his personality. Certain games he does coach his ass off, and then there's certain games where he is just afraid to try anything other than his already losing strategies. I'm indifferent. I'll give him credit. He's doing better than I ever thought he would without Aaron Rodgers. However, I just think he's a douche. Moving on, we got Sean Mcvay. I think he's an elite coach. I really do like him. I like his style. He's the younger guy. He's more involved in the current era of football. As long as he has been in Los Angeles, they have been one of the highest scoring teams in the league. And it says even more about you that, 3 or 4 of those years were with Jared Goff. Moving on, we've got Dan Campbell. He's a really good person. Other than that, I'm not sure if I would want him. He's got a set of balls on him, I will say that. But sometimes I'm not sure if he's actually hurting the team or benefiting them. Good guy, though. Moving on, we've got David Cully, a guy that I've given credit to. I've said that he can compete, but it also seems like more times than none, his team is just getting absolutely destroyed. I don't think I would want him. Watching his interviews as well, I don't think he carries a lot of, fire with him. He kind of seems like a Leslie Frazier who was on the Bills and I love, but when he was on the Vikings, he didn't have fire. Your team gets blown out, you don't just sit there and be calm about it. You have to be pissed. Moving on, we've got Kyle Shanahan. He is a good coach, but I still can't define him as elite. That 1 year is all he's got under his resume. Other than that, his team that he's coached has been very, very just 500 or below 500. Moving on, we've got Andy Reid, another elite coach. I don't think I have to explain much with him. He is an ultimate risk taker, but he is also an ultimate opportunist. He knows what he's got with his quarterback. He knows what he's got with his offense. He knows that his defense isn't even the best, so he knows that he's got to take chances in certain situations that normal coaches wouldn't. He's fantastic at recognizing where the game is when it's happening. I think Andy Reid is incredible. Moving on, we've got Joe Judge. I had a lot of praise for him going into the season. I'm not going to lie. I think he's got to go. He's just not doing anything with the team, okay? He had success in college. That's great to see, but as we know with Urban Meyer, that doesn't mean shit. Injuries or no injuries, he's been in New York for what, 2-3 years now? And it has been the same Giants every single week, and I'm sorry guys, but it's losers. As a head coach, it's your job to find ways to win. If you don't do it, you get fired. Speaking of fired, up next we got Mike Zimmer. Get rid of him. I loved him. I still admire his play calling style. He's aggressive. I like it. He would rather lose a game than go to overtime. So would I, majority of the time, to be honest. What I mean by that is, you know, if it's at the 1 at the end of the game and they're down by 3, he's not going to kick a field goal. He's going to go for that touchdown. However, there is not a coach in the league who is better at choking games away, okay? I am tired of seeing it. The stress has overwhelmed me. Mike, you're a good guy, but get the fuck out of here. Moving on, we've got Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron. People can talk their shit about him, and maybe it's just because he's a good guy, and I know he's a good guy, and he just won his battle with cancer and everything, but this guy's got Washington going in a pretty good direction. Now, I know this year they're not the healthiest, but last year they had a playoff appearance. They still could make the playoffs this year. Just got to get a healthy team and a quarterback, hopefully Aaron Rodgers. Moving on, we've got Kevin Stefanski. He's a good coach. I do think he is a good coach. I think that his team is just not there. I think Baker has lost a lot of confidence. I don't think Baker is the best quarterback really for that offense. I give him a thumbs up. He knows how to work an offense given any tool you can have. I know that because he was in Minnesota and he did an excellent job with the Vikings. Moving on, we've got Frank Reich, another guy who I really do think that he's good. He has proven that Carson Wentz is a good quarterback, and he has proven that you can take one of the most, I don't mean to bash you, Indy, but you know what I'm trying to say here, like, not talent filled. You got Pittman, you got JT, you got Wentz. Other than that, not much. And you guys are putting up 31 to 40 points a game in recent weeks. He has the making to be an elite coach. He just needs to have the team do it. And right now, they're starting to show it. Moving on, we've got Matt LaFleur. I'll give him credit. He's elite. You know, I want to say it's all because of Aaron Rodgers, but it's not. He is very good at drawing plays. And he knows what plays are more likely to succeed with who's on the field, whether it's Adams, Lazard, MVS. That's why I think he's so good, because he can utilize basically anybody he wants. People want to get all over Adams, that's fine. He's got plans for that. People want to get over Randall Cobb? Okay, then Tanyan's going to go in there. People want to get on Tanya and he's going to throw Aaron Jones out there. I give him credit. He's a good coach. And moving on to the last coach we have, that is Nick Cerrany. Dude, you're 6-7 with the Eagles right now. You're a good coach. You're putting up 30 points a game with the Eagles right now. You're a good coach. You're winning games with the last minute Gardner Minshew fill-in. You're a good coach. People can talk all their shit about the Eagles, but they should not be doing good right now at all. Funny, because last year he was an OC on the Colts working right by Frank Reich. So if you think it's a little biased that I like him, maybe it's just because he was with Frank Reich. I don't know. I appreciate guys who can make something out of nothing, though. And there you guys have it. That is the official Wyatt's World re-ranking of the head coaches. Alright guys, and that is where I'm going to cut it for the day. I hope you all like this video. If there's any placements you guys agree with or disagree with, you already know what to do. Let me know in the comments. I will read it. Just because I don't react and reply doesn't mean I'm ignoring it. Not really sure what to do tomorrow. I kind of want to do like a breakfast food tier list, but I also kind of want to do something else. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions, or let me know if that sounds good. WyattzWorld Extra, I plan to upload my 10 best Christmas presents tonight too, so that will be in the description for those interested. With all that stuff being said, I'm going to hop off and edit this shit so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, I will see you in the next video.